Greetings, travelers. Today we're going to do a mod tutorial, an updated mod tutorial for Draconic Evolution's energy storage multi-block. We are also going to cover, after I set up the storage system, the energy transport system mechanic that the author of Brandon has added to the mod. And I also want to take a moment to apologize. The original video, yes, I know there was the whine, old microphone, old headset, long since taken care of. Part of the reason I'm doing this, also just because so many things have updated. As of this video, this will cover Draconic Evolution as of version 1.0.1c. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how to set up the energy storage multi-block, and from there I will then show you the basic mechanics behind his energy transport system. Alright, so the thing to keep in mind, you'll need energy pylons, an energy core, particle generators, glass, and either just the energy core or draconium blocks or redstone or all three. Depending on the size of your multi-block structure will determine the number of redstone blocks and draconium blocks. You can get the exact numbers and layout from within the tablet that he adds to his mod that kind of outlines every part of his mod. But I know there's been some confusion on your initial setup, so that's why we're going to do this. Today we're going to do a tier 1. So the thing to keep in mind is, let's go ahead and set up our energy core. Okay, now each of the particle generators need to be within 10 blocks of this energy core and at the same level as the energy core in order to work. So we'll go ahead and set those up. Oh, one more. I wasn't even paying attention to my own height. Okay. That's kind of why I preset out the obsidian though, so I'd remember exactly where to place these at. One of the unique features of this energy storage multi-block, and part of the reason behind its creation, is the immense amount of storage. Up until this point, you know, you've had energy cells or other types of batteries don't hold a whole awful lot. This one, on the other hand, even at its tier 0 or tier 1 level, is going to be 45 million RF. But we are doing the next tier up. And then you simply, with a empty hand, right click that, and there you go. So at tier 2, 273 million RF. Now the next piece of this are the pylons. Now the thing to keep in mind is they can be anywhere within 16 blocks in a cube of the energy core. The key thing is if the pylon is above this center line, so let's say somewhere up here, go ahead and show you an example real quick. So if it's up there, the glass needs to be placed on the bottom. So the glass basically goes in the direction of where the core is. If you are direct center, it can go up or down. So since we have 16 blocks, we're going to go ahead and just put one right here in this corner. And then we are going to put one in the opposite corner over here. And then by right-clicking on the glass, you change its mode from input to output. And you can see that with the little particles go in. If it's on input, it's going to have the particles going towards the core, output coming out of the core. So that's it for setting up the energy storage multi-block, and just remember that these can go anywhere within 16 blocks in a cube around the energy core. The pile or the particle generators themselves do have to be within a specific amount. Now, if you do ever intend to upgrade, obviously you want them out as far as possible. If you're only going to go with, say, a smaller tier, you can bring them in closer. You know, it kind of helps with the design of where you're going to place this. So, give me a moment and we'll get set up on the transfer system. Let's get started on the transfer system. So there are three main components, and they come in two flavors. You have the energy transceiver, energy relay, and wireless energy transceiver. Now the relay is just that. It's the point where all the power comes in to be distributed out to other relays or transceivers. Transceivers, however, are the ones that get their power to and from the blocks. So in this case, place one there. That's going to be the output. Put one here for the input. Now the only difference between this and the wireless is the regular energy transceiver has to be on the block, whereas the wireless does not. That is the only major difference. They both function the same. And then of course you'll need the crystal binder. This not only will link these to the relays, but it also has the ability to change the function. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to set up an energy relay here, and you can go... I did the wrong one. Yeah. So the energy relay can be anywhere within 25 blocks of a transceiver. And the same goes for over here, so we're going to set this up. And for testing, we're going to use the Draconic Evolution generator, and we're going to use the energy infuser. So since this one's going to be the input, we'll go ahead and set this up right here. And let me get some coal out so we can take care of that. And then we put another one of these on the back here. Come over here and do the same thing, but we're going to use the energy infuser for our output. Alright, so now with the crystal wrench, it by default is in bind mode, so you're going to go right click on the one, right click on there, right click again, and right click. You know you've got a successful connection because you'll see the beam. We'll go over here and do the same thing with these. Okay, so now we're going to go with mode change. So right now you'll notice if you hover over, it tells you there's no RF, the capacity percentage is 0, obviously there's nothing in there. How many connections? Because these can do 2 connections. The advanced, the only difference between these and the advanced is the amount of power transfer. The advanced has pretty much unlimited power transfer and has double the amount of connections. So since we're in mode, we're going to go here. Input means it is now drawing the energy from the generator, and you'll see that it shows how much RF is in there. This is going into here, which then comes into here. And you can see the blue particles show that power is being put into the storage block. Now the same thing for here, we're going to go input, and you'll see that the power now comes into there, which comes through here, and if we go inside, you will see it is starting to fill up. Very simple mechanic, very easy to use. If you need to change the location, that's, you notice there was bind, unbind, unbind all, mode change, and back to the beginning. So bind obviously is the one where we tell it where to go. Unbind reverses that. Unbind all, just, so if you come over here and there is, say, 4 connections, unbind all removes all the connections and you start over. And then mode change is what changes it from input to output. And you can see that it is working completely. We have more storage than we'll ever need. Of course, this is a very simple setup. But there you have it, the Draconic Evolution Energy Storage Multi-Block and the Energy Transfer System. Keep in mind the wireless, same thing as those, only you don't actually have to physically connect it. And it'll also, instead of, you still have to bind two machines so that it knows what to put the energy to, but it allows you to, say, put a central point of energy and have all your machines around there without having to have one of these on every single machine. So it's actually kind of nice, keeps things compact. So thank you for coming by, and you have a great day.